It's Wednesday night. We're deep into the night. And like we are every week, we're here talking baseball deep into the night with my buddy Parker.
Not as deep
What's
into the
the
night
word?
as this Tokyo series, dude.
No. That's what I was just going to ask you. What's the word, baseball nerd? And I feel like the word is Tokyo.
Yeah. The Tokyo series, I did not watch either game live. Those games are at 3 o'clock in the morning, my time. So I think they're at 5 o'clock in the morning, your time.
Yeah, my ass was not up. For sure.
No. I mean, if it was 5 or 6, like if I was on the East Coast, I might have at least, put on a couple innings at the beginning of the games. But 3 o'clock's a little early, especially because I've been up so late recently playing MLB The Show.
Okay.
A 3 a.m. wake up is a bit much.
Yeah, God forbid I don't wake up for baseball because I was up late night because of baseball. Okay.
Yep. Yeah, at this point, I made an executive decision, and I like my decision. I like what I did. I'm having a lot of fun with MLB The Show.
Good, you chose baseball for baseball. I can't blame you.
Yeah,
I mean
it's like the greatest crux I've ever been forced to make a decision on.
Oh my God.
We had a baseball series in Tokyo. Yeah, we had a baseball series in Tokyo.
We did. Let's dive into that because a lot went on in the 2 days, and before we even get into kind of what actually happened over the 2 days, I got to bring something up, Parker, that I thought was very interesting, and I don't know if it's me being kind of getting grumpier in my old age in quotes, but But Fox News, not Fox News, not Fox News. Just let's throw that out there. Fox's broadcast for this game and the respective team broadcast did not travel to Tokyo for this game. They did it remote, which to me is such a missed opportunity. Am I wrong?
What? I didn't know that.
Yeah. Like, you are freaking Major League Baseball putting this whole series on a damn pedestal, and you couldn't send your people?
That's so cheap to me.
Oh yeah.
I don't know, man. We gotta get that was the worst part about COVID was remote broadcasts, or one of the worst parts. There was a lot of bad parts about COVID, particularly for Major League Baseball. One of the worst parts was having to listen to these remote broadcasts, like Matt Vasgersian calling home runs that never happened. Like maybe the home run is the home run in the room with us right now, Matt.
Right.
But yeah, that's such a missed opportunity. Go to Tokyo and could you imagine the environment in that ballpark, how it would have affected an actual broadcast? Like that's such a missed opportunity to me. That's really disappointing.
Now, one of the things I was reading the reason for that was they had Jason Benetti and Adam Amin doing the play-by-play each game, and then AJ Brzezinski, fan favorite here on the show. We love AJ. Not really at all. But what I will say is he was supposed to color commentate both games, and they said, they had busy schedules and NCAA stuff and hockey stuff, and I'm like, dude, then pick someone else.
Yeah, then use a different broadcast team.
Come on.
Well, doesn't Kevin Burkhardt typically call the Fox the FS1 games? I'm great.
Sure, yeah, he's great. Love him.
He does NFL games too. He's one of my favorite I don't know, national guys. I don't love most national broadcasts. I've been pretty vocal about that here, but of the national guys, if you're on a Fox game, it's probably a good time when you're getting Kevin Burkhardt. Yeah, that's really disappointing. It feels like, I don't know, this whole series, if it was at 6 Eastern time, then I believe it started at 7 Tokyo time, which is a fine time to start. I feel like maybe we could have bumped the time up like an hour, maybe an hour or two, to it would have been a pretty late start time for Tokyo, but it would have been a more viewable time for Major League Baseball fans at large, which are largely in America, of course, or at least in American centric time zones that would be able to enjoy that. But that's really my only note. I think that this series as a whole is a great thing for the game. And it's almost like people will complain about it. People will complain about the Tokyo series because it's something to complain about. But it's the alternative was just not having anything to get sort of excited about a week before baseball starts. Because opening day, it doesn't affect opening day. it's just a cool thing that we got to experience.
Yeah, it's funny that you say that right after I open this conversation up by complaining. But what I will say is, I mean, you're okay. Pause. Ladies and gentlemen, for folks that are listening to the audio version of this that are not seeing this right now, I saw a Baja Blast enter its way into the frame, and I'm here to tell you, Parker, Baja Blast is the nectar of the gods.
Okay? Oh, it is. Yeah,
I'm just fully agree on that.
Yes. Baja Blast is the single greatest beverage on the planet. I have a 12-pack of it downstairs, and I also just got some with my dinner tonight. So, yes, I'm fully tracking on Baja Blast.
Nice. We will accept any sponsorship from Baja Blast Mountain Dew. You heard it here first.
I want to be the first podcast to be sponsored by both Baja Blast and Coke Zero.
Bingo. Just you know what to do, folks. Slide in the DMs. We're here. Anyway, I will say this about it starting, the Tokyo series starting week before opening day. Again, I don't know if this is me just being a grumpy pain in the ass. I just, from a team standpoint, from a baseball standpoint, it's just so weird to have these like two games that count a week before the season. I just don't know that I love it. Like, I agree with you. I think it's great for the game. It's great to get MLB presence out internationally. God knows NFL's doing it all over the place. I think they're playing in Antarctica next year. But I just don't love that. I just don't love the setup. Something about it's weird for me.
You know what I do think absolutely needs to be changed? I don't think that the Cubs should lose 2 home games. You're going to play 2 games. I think they split the games in terms of home games.
Good point.
Because the Cubs now only get to play 79 games at Wrigley this year. And the Dodgers still get to play a full 81 in Dodger Stadium. And they basically just played home games. In case anybody didn't like watch any of the highlights or anything, those were very home-friendly atmospheres for the Dodgers.
Correct.
If you're watching, by the way, I want to point something out right now because everybody wants to shit on the Trop. And I'm, first of all, hand up, I'm one of the first people that's going to shit on the Trop at the first given opportunity. But if you look at the ceiling on the video version of this podcast right now, the ceiling at the Tokyo Dome is just as bad, if not worse, than the ceiling at the Trop. And you never hear anybody bitching about it.
Nope, not at all. And I'm going to be honest with you. I think, people rave about, the Tokyo Dome and wow, look at this great. It's like the best ballpark in Japan. And dude, it looks just like the Trop. What are we talking about?
It literally looks just like the Trop. In fact, it almost looks like a less colorful version of the Trop. Like it's a little more muted than the Trop, and we shit on the Trop as baseball fans in America.
We sure do.
Kiki Hernandez would have hit the back of the Tokyo Dome, though.
So that's what I was just going to ask you about. So I wanted to ask you about things that really stood out to you in the 2 games. So Kike, definitely one of those things. Like, what else kind of caught your eye that you were either surprised by or like, hey, that's pretty cool having seen these 2 games highlights?
Well, first of all, I think it's so sick that, first of all, the first game was started by Shota Imanaga and Yoshinobu Yamamoto. Both of them, clearly their first start of the season. I will say, Shota Imanaga did not give up a hit. He did walk the 2 leadoff batters in 2 different innings and got himself into a lot of trouble. Got himself out of that trouble, did not give up a hit. And he looked, it was impressive the way he was able to work out of trouble. Yamamoto looked a little less solid. I'm not going to get into his line right now because I do want to talk about is the debut of the Phenom himself, the number 1 prospect in baseball, Roki Sasaki. And I'm not here to shit on him. I'm very impressed with what he was able to accomplish. 5 walks is a lot of walks. But I do want to point out the fact that I think now know what we're going to get from him in way more of a way than we thought we knew before. He threw 56 pitches, I think it was. Yeah, 56 total pitches. He threw 37 fastballs, 15 splitters, 4 sliders. So I think we have now seen what we are going to see from Roki Sasaki. He's going to be a fastball splitter guy. He's going to blow you away. He was like not below 98 miles an hour in the first inning. Yeah. Like he's going to blow you away with that fastball.
It's amazing. He had, first off, his first like handful of pitches were like 100, 101. I mean, it was just crazy. I mean, it's going to come down to Roki being able to harness his control. And this is like standard of like rookie pitchers, right? This is not like a Roki Japan specific thing.
No.
But if you can have him control inside the zone and own the zone with that fastball, that splitter, which is probably the best splitter in baseball, according to players. They're like,
it's like a forkball, dude. It's so crazy. The number, I can't wait. So Baseball Savant, for everybody who's like me and flocked straight to Baseball Savant for Roki stats, you're not going to get the traditional Baseball Savant page that you typically get on Roki Sasaki until a good chunk into the season, when he's basically thrown enough pitches to build a profile. And also, by the way, since all of this is percentile based stuff based on the whole rest of baseball, but nobody's going to have a page at first. It takes a while for this type of stuff to populate. But I will say they do have a visualization now, pitcher game visualization out for his game that he pitched, because apparently they have Statcast data from the Tokyo Dome, which I just found out about. His mechanics, his mechanics. I mean, he was all over the place. He couldn't locate really. I mean, we already talked about the 5 walks. It's pretty evident he was having a hard time locating the ball, but he did rely on that splitter whenever he needed to get a swing and miss. And I find that super interesting. The splitter was kind of his like lean on pitch, and he's always going to throw that really hard fastball. But if you have time, if you want to go look and see what pitches like, were drawing swings and which pitches were where they were landing in terms of pitch type, because all those splitters, a lot of them are down and into lefties, down and away to righties. And it's like, okay, cool. Like, this is the type of information that I find intriguing about guys like Roki Sasaki, especially in such a high pressure game as his first game ever. So definitely worth going to look out on Savant.
Definitely. Shohei hit a home run. You could write that. Obviously, that you knew that was going to happen, and you knew the crowd was going to go wild. It's like watching their own grown son.
Did you see the whole like saga with his home run?
Yeah. So I still don't know how I feel about it, because
personally, I think it's a home run.
You do? Okay. Yeah. Because I will say I didn't sit there and study the film, but I did see I watched it, I think, just twice. And sure, it's a home run, but you have like the whole fan hanging out there. Yeah. And I didn't get a good view of it from the replay, but it's something, I mean, at this point, who the hell cares, right? Like,
yeah, so, I mean, like, of course, Shohei's got his haters online, and all of them are saying, like, for any other player, that's a double, not a home run. Sure.
Well, didn't you hear? He's a gambler. He's the one that did all the gambling. Didn't you know this?
I just don't understand the hate for Shohei Ohtani. By the way, the players poll, Fox Sports did a players poll, and more than 100 players voted, and the best player in baseball, as voted by the players of Major League Baseball, is Shohei Ohtani. So, like, what are we doing?
Yep.
He's a freak of nature. We all know that. But they love Mookie, by the way. Like, every answer to every question, like, who's most likely to be a media personality? Mookie. Who would you love to have as a teammate most? Mookie. It's like, okay, cool. Apparently Mookie's the best dude in the game.
That tracks.
Yeah. So we had the Shohei Ohtani home run that was. Kike hit the back of the Tokyo Dome. That was pretty cool. The first home run of the year was hit by Tommy Edman. And dude, I gotta tell you, I am all about how good Tommy Edman has been since he put a Dodger uniform on.
I'm telling you, it's like you go to a good team and all of a sudden you get superpowers, because that guy, when we were even in spring training, he was making awesome contact on the ball, and we were looking at each other like, God damn, this is Tommy Edman. Like, holy shit.
Well, yeah, and like, think about what happens when Mookie is out because he has an illness. Freddie's got some sort of rib pain, so he's a late scratch for this year. He made the trip and then ended up not playing. Unexpectedly, but like, imagine the situation you find yourself in as Tommy Edman, where it's like, oh, don't worry, you're just the protection for Shohei Ohtani in the lineup. Like, you're the thing that's making them have to pitch to Shohei, and that sounds ridiculous until Tommy Edman hits a nuke, and he's a switch hitter, and he plays every position on the diamond, and it's like, oh, this guy's just really, really, really good at the game of baseball, and I would still rather not pitch to him or Shohei. So Shohei's going to see his pitches, and it's a cool story to see from him, because he was basically in a dead end situation at a very historic, prestigious franchise. How about that?
Sure.
And now he's on the Dodgers.
Oh goodness, I'm trying to find one thing I wanted to talk about. I want to talk about the Cubs side for a second, because you know what, it is a bummer for them to walk away from the series. already down 0-2 on the season because these games do count, folks. But
Yep.
I'm trying to pull up. I believe Matt Shaw really struggled in the field, and I want to know. He had at least one error, I believe Matt Shaw did, but did he have more than one error this last 2 games?
I couldn't tell you. I watched the 10-minute YouTube highlights of both games. I didn't watch the whole games in their entirety. I'm a terrible podcaster. I'm so sorry, everybody. But so Matt Shaw is could you have a worse situation to start your big league career in? You're facing off against, don't worry, just Yoshinobu Yamamoto and Roki Sasaki in Tokyo in front of their home crowd, basically a home crowd, making your big league debut on turf. I'd be so annoyed if I was Matt Shaw.
Totally. And what it's hard. I could imagine if you're a player, especially making your major league debut in that major league debut in that hyped environment, you're not nervous, friends. Probably even more so.
No, I would be shaking, man. Me personally, I don't know Matt Shaw. I don't know how he would react, but that's a hard environment to play in against basically homegrown talent.
Man, I don't know. Matt Shaw did have one error. So all that to say is, the Cubs, I feel like, have always been that team, and we talked about it in the preview, and we talked about it really for the last several months, is they can either steal the NL Central, or they're going to be that team that's playing 800 or 800, playing 500 all year long, right? And I just don't know what to think about them in this series. I know it's only 2 games, but these 2 games didn't really make me feel any better about the Cubs.
Yeah, there's this weird dynamic that I'm having to wrestle with a little bit as it relates to this game, where it's yes, these games happened, they counted. Roki Sasaki threw 56 pitches, and I think both pitchers didn't make it through the 5th inning in the first game. So kind of just a spring training game. You have to treat it mentally like a spring training game. Yes, you are now 0-2 if you're the Cubs, and that sucks. That's a hole you have to dig yourself out of. But mentally, if I'm Craig Counsell, I'm getting on the plane, I'm talking to everybody. I'm like, look, put it out of your mind. We're in Tokyo, Japan right now. Let's go get some ramen. Let's go eat some good food, and then go home and enjoy this experience we had. But at the end of the day, you got to treat it like your record's still 0-0. You're still going to start the season on the same day as the rest of everybody else. And unfortunately, your record is worse than you would like it to be on that day. But the environment for those games was so conducive to the Dodgers that you cannot hang your hat on those losses.
See, what you said kind of reinforces my earlier point. If you're having to treat these like spring training games, or they feel like spring training games, then why the hell are we having them? I don't have them.
I like the idea of them happening, but they don't need to be in this fashion. I don't know. I liked it remember when the Mariners and A's, I think they did this, but it was exhibition games.
Yes, that's fine.
It's I'm so okay with that. That would be so cool. Probably some different teams other than the Mariners and A's. Just throwing it out there. And they did a good job. If it was the Dodgers and Cubs playing some exhibition games, that'd be awesome. Could you imagine rounding out your spring training with a week of just baseball in the Tokyo Dome? And it's all just games that you can learn from and get better at, and maybe go talk 100%. To the players on the other teams, have some of your Japanese teammates translate and learn from them and do that would be so cool. But no, these games counted, and they got there a week ago. So I'm assuming that jet lag probably wasn't that much of a factor, but it's not a factor in my opinion. I've made that flight, man. It stinks. And you're kind of on the back foot for the next 5 days afterward.
Yeesh. That's rough. I just feel like at the end of the day, and I'm sure there's monetary value. MLB doesn't do anything unless there's monetary rewards or monetary gains. But outside of that, I wonder how much it really is. And then 2, how much do you really benefit from it outside of that? And I don't see the value, quite frankly, unless there's dollar signs all over the place.
I don't think it was by accident that it was 2 of the more concrete, reliable fan bases in baseball.
Sure. Probably a little helpful that they have pretty notable Japanese players.
Right. I mean, and you know what? That's mostly probably what went into the decision. But like Cubs fans are going to watch some baseball games this year, and Dodgers fans certainly are going to watch a bunch of baseball games this year. You're not going to tick off a whole fan base, I think, or at least those fan bases if you do that. Now, if this was like I don't know, A's Mariners game, how about that? Then I feel like you're pissing off some fan bases that are like, dude, come on. What are we doing? Actually, maybe the A's is a perfect team to send out there because the least amount of games you could play in Sutter Home Field or whatever the hell it's called. Probably better. Probably for the better. Let's do Rays A's in the Tokyo Dome. That's, you know what? They're just playing in the Tokyo Dome next season. 81 games.
That's it. Right. 100%. Wow. What a hell of a road trip that'd be. Parker, is it okay if we move off of this? I want to ask you something else.
For sure. Let's
All right.
move.
So here's what I've been thinking about over the last week or so. We are getting to, as spring training's wrapping up, we're getting to opening day here next Thursday. Now, when we get closer to opening day, my mind tends to go to who's sitting out there in the free agent market that still hasn't
you want to talk about Alex Verdugo?
Yes, I do. And you know what's so funny is you already beat me to it because there's a list of names I want to go through here. I'm going to list off some. And we're going to talk about which ones we are most surprised still haven't latched onto a team. So let me just start with this list. So first, we'll do Kyle Gibson. Yasmani Grandal, not surprising. Lance Lynn. Who else is on this list here? Alex Verdugo, Spencer Turnbull, J.D. Martinez.
J.D. Martinez is very surprising.
Very surprising. Whit Merrifield, David Peralta, Brooks Raley, Marco Gonzalez. I mean, a couple of those names are a little surprising, Parker.
Okay, yeah. So the names that really stick out to me that are surprising are J.D. Martinez, Anthony Rizzo. I feel like there's so much value to signing just such proven winners and putting them in a club. Like, how the hell have the Mariners not reached out to a Rizzo or a J.D. Martinez? Now, J.D. Martinez,
thank you,
is the kind of guy who won't sign with a team if he doesn't like their ballpark. Like we saw that when the Giants were close to signing him last offseason and he chose not to because that ballpark does not fit his swing profile whatsoever. So I understand that if he doesn't want to go hit in, not Safeco, T-Mobile Park, because apparently that place has like black magic surrounding it. Looking into the numbers these past couple weeks, holy shit. Like it is people you can't hit in T-Mobile Park. So that doesn't really surprise me, but there's got to be another team that needs a right-handed power bat.
There's got to be, and I think the more damning case is even Alex Verdugo, because I think you look at JD Martinez and there's no doubt that he has fallen off as of late. We all know it. He's getting older. The power hasn't been there. The strikeout rate's been going up steadily over the last 4 years. I get all of that. I mean, he obviously can't do anything but DH. But in the case of Alex Verdugo, I think people forget last year with the Yankees was his one really down year. Like last year with the Yankees, he hit 233. The 2 years before that, he hit 264, 280. In 21, he was 289, 308. Like
in 2020, he had a shot to win the MVP.
Correct. In 2020, like this, he still gets on base. He's going to give you a little bit of pop here and there. Like because of the one down Yankee year, I there's got to be something we're missing.
There definitely is. Let's talk about the circumstances surrounding his exit from Boston.
Yes. You're right. Enlighten the people.
Okay, so when Alex Verdugo, for those of you, I'll just give you his whole story. Alex Verdugo was traded from the Dodgers for Mookie Betts. Mookie Betts was traded to the Dodgers for Connor Wong, Jeter Downs, Alex Verdugo. Jeter Downs now plays in Korea. Connor Wong is the everyday catcher for the Red Sox, and Alex Verdugo doesn't have a job right now. Alex Verdugo was kind of the big piece in that move. It was like, okay, this is a guy that we can get, it's Mookie Betts. I don't care if it's one season. You're trading Mookie Betts. You need a piece that you can kind of put on a pedestal above the rest in that deal. And that was who Verdugo was. He has what I will call a very, very good approach at the plate. He's a very patient hitter. He does make solid contact. He has never hit more than 19 home runs. I think 19 is the career high for him.
13.
13 home runs. Okay, so Alex Verdugo is not a power guy. He's a no. Singles doubles guy with a good approach. So he's actually hit leadoff a little bit for the Red Sox in the past, and he was pretty good. But herein lies the issue. We ran into clubhouse problems. He's a very expressive player. He's a very opinionated player. He's gone on Nesson and he's cussed up and down a little bit on his interviews, and that's all fine. You can be all of those things, but it's really hard to deal with those things when you're also the guy who shows up only 2 hours before game time when the expectation is to show up 4 or 5 hours before game time. And that was the thing that happened several times during his Red Sox career. And Alex Cora alluded, there was a day where there are two separate incidents that really stick out. Number one, he was benched because Alex Cora said that he was not hustling from first to second. I'm going to go with Alex Cora on this. Alex sees him in practice every day. Alex knows how fast this guy is. And if this is something that maybe was addressed in a pregame meeting and then Verdugo directly disobeyed orders or things like that, I get that. Okay, cool. So bench the guy, cool. He was back the next day. Another incident that happened was that Alex Verdugo habitually was late to game time showtime, not to the game time, but to showtime at the ballpark where it's okay, everybody's going to be here hitting or doing whatever, getting treatment, whatever by this time. He was routinely late for that timeline. And it led to him being benched by Alex Cora. And in the media meeting that in the press conference after the game, Alex Cora said he was not available. Everybody on this team, he got very emotional. It was everybody on this team needs to be available. We had one player today that was not available, and it's unacceptable. And that's why he was benched. And then later on, Alex Cora said that was one of the hardest days in all of his time managing the Boston Red Sox. Since 2018, he skipped 2020. It's 2018, 19, 21, 22, 23, and 24. 6 years he has managed this team. That was the worst day in all of his managerial tenure. So it's oh no, this went south. This was a bad spat. And then Alex Verdugo had quotes after that saying that he couldn't wait for the last 7 weeks of the season to be over. Beginning of August, dude, you should be scratching, clawing for a playoff spot at that point. You're waiting for the season to end. So what I'm getting at here is there might be an attitude issue with Alex Verdugo. Yeah, things that we don't see.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. I don't. You know what? Everyone's different. Everyone's coming to these situations with their own different perspective and all unique personalities. This is baseball. We know we have some interesting kind of divas in this sport, as you do all sports. But I get kind of, I don't know what the word is. I struggle with understanding guys who have such a unique opportunity to play in Major League Baseball that they would let their attitude and their work ethic ruin that for them.
Right. And I think that the bar is a little higher, I think, for expectation because look at the NBA. I've been pretty critical of the NBA in my life. I personally think that I won't say it's closer to reality TV than sports, but it's definitely closer to reality TV than other sports. Yeah. And it's very personality driven. And see, the thing is that players in the NBA will get away with things that would never fly into Major League Baseball clubhouse. And why is that? Well, one player makes a massive difference when there's only 5 of them on the court, and one player can literally score by themselves at will on a basketball court. So you keep your players happy so that they keep producing. In a Major League Baseball team, you have 162 of these fucking games to play. You're traveling all over the country constantly. A lot of times you're playing a game at 7. The game ends at 10:30. You hop on a flight, you fly 6 hours, and you don't go to sleep until you get back home or to just the next hotel in the road trip. And if there's a clubhouse cancer in all of that, it just makes the grind, I cannot express the grind of traveling to that extent that much less palatable. And that is just death to a team if you have something like that going on.
It is. I mean, it's a bummer that he hasn't found a team, but you're right. I think that's the thing. You look at the stats and you say, "Oh, why would he be signed?" But
he's a phenomenal defender.
Oh, of course. He has never faltered there, without a doubt.
He is significantly improved because he was never a terrible defender, but he wasn't a world beater. But over the last couple of years, he genuinely has been. He's been a fantastic defender over the couple of years that he's been playing, the last 2 years with the Yankees and Red Sox. And it's wow, if this guy doesn't have a team, it does hurt him that he is not a traditional center fielder. And typically you can sacrifice a little offense in order to get the center field defense. Like, for instance, the Red Sox starting center fielder will be Ceden Rafaela, and he's like a league average bat, but he plays spectacular defense in the outfield. You can take that trade, but when you play a corner outfield position, defense can't be your selling point.
100%. 100%. I have a particular Red Sox question I wanted to ask you about because I thought of you today, actually, when I saw this pop up. It looks like they're still deciding, right, who's going to start second base opening day for the Red Sox. And it looked like that it was going to be between Christian Campbell, David Hamilton, and Vaughn Grissom, and they optioned Vaughn Grissom tonight. So, I mean, where are you at with this? I mean, are you, hey, I want to see Christian Campbell today, or is David Hamilton coming out of nowhere and surprising you here?
You want a quick surprise real quick? While I talk, just look up David Hamilton's Fangraphs WAR last year. It's going to be surprising. Personally, I'm in the boat where whoever's producing at the highest level at the end of camp should get the job. And I know that's a cop-out. Nobody's higher on Christian Campbell than me. I would love to see Christian Campbell become an MVP candidate, He's my Rookie of the Year candidate. It would be better for me as a predictor to have him playing on opening day. But as a Red Sox fan, speaking as a Red Sox fan and not as a, podcaster at this point, whoever's hotter, because they both can play the position very well defensively. And whoever brings the most to the table offensively, I think, should be the guy getting the reps. What'd you get for David Hamilton?
1.7 WAR last year in 98 games played.
Yeah. So maybe it was on Baseball Savant. I'm gonna go to Baseball Reference because I think
because 98 games, 1.7 WAR. I'm seeing
2.5 B WAR.
Okay, so let's remember, folks. There's the Baseball Reference WAR, Fangraphs WAR, same spirit of what it's capturing, calculated differently.
Yep. Okay. And I want to say that if you take out the games he played at shortstop and only account for the games that he played at second, it's like over 3 WAR. He genuinely hurt the team at shortstop, but at second base, he was a huge asset.
This is what happens when you play good defense and you are like the Flash out there with your speed, right? Like, I mean, that makes up that WAR.
It's the Jarren Duran effect, man. That's what we've been talking about.
That's what the Red Sox need. 5 Jarren Durans, which is essentially what they're accumulating right now.
And that's what it looks like. I think David Hamilton is one of the least appreciated members of the Boston Red Sox. He's got this like utility guy stamp on him, which stinks because he has made his fair share of errors at shortstop, but at second base, he's a very good defender. He runs. I don't remember what his sprint speed is, but it's very good. He's worth, I think, giving a roster spot because anybody who can be that, like we're talking about a guy, a team who one of the biggest like legends in Red Sox history is David Roberts, and all he was a pinch runner. We can be very nice to David Roberts. He was a big leaguer through and through, but he was a pinch runner on those 2004 Red Sox. Yes. And when David Hamilton, I just pulled it up, has a 94th percentile sprint speed, that's a valuable asset. Those guys don't grow on trees.
No, they don't. Not anymore. Not anymore.
No.
And it's funny because if you look at the sport right now, there's like a bunch of mid runners speed wise and then the elite guys, and there's this huge gap between them, right? Like that's where we're at.
Absolutely. Fun fact, by the way, this made me think of it. Jake Berger has more speed in MLB The Show than Ronald Acuna Jr.
That's funny. I did not even know that. I have not come across that yet. Also, we've talked about this last year. Jake Berger, his sprint
he can
speed,
move.
He is a dog out there, man.
He is.
He is busting ass getting down that line. I'm so impressed.
I'm pulling it up. I have to look at it every once in a while. 2004, 65th percentile sprint speed for Jake Berger.
Oh, come on.
I love
guys,
it.
If you don't know, I know Jake Berger is not a household name out there. Parker and I know him because we're crazy. But take a look at Jake Berger. The guy's a dude, okay? He's a big dude.
Is. He's a big dude. He's one of those like power back corner infielders you would never attribute. You'd be like, oh yeah, 20th percentile sprint speed, and I'll take it. No, 65th percentile. He's going to swipe 5 bags this year.
The Rangers, he's going to do some good work for the Rangers, man. I'm excited to see him there. I mean,
think so too.
He's such a great backfill there for Nathaniel Lowe there at first base. He's going to plug right in just fine. He's probably going to give him 30, 35 home runs easy.
Mm-hmm.
And the Rangers, by the way, are having some pitching issues. We celebrated their pitching depth at the beginning of the year. John Gray is going down.
By the way, we're still pre-beginning of the year. We haven't even fucking gotten
correct.
If we
can go through the list of all the injured pitchers before opening day, holy hell, we would spend a whole episode on that. But for the Rangers, John Gray is going to start the season on the IL. It's going to be, I think it was multiple weeks before they got him back, but they signed Patrick Corbin, which I thought was interesting.
Patrick Corbin definitely still has a pulse. That's for sure. Can guarantee that. John Gray
has arms and legs.
He has arms and legs and an arm, and he knows how to throw some pitches. John Gray, not the smallest of losses. I know the 4.47 ERA last year doesn't really, I don't know. It may not float a lot of people's boat, but he's not too far removed from 157 innings in 2023. And innings is the kind of thing you want from a John Gray. So, I mean, yeah, that's not insignificant. This is a guy who has 10 big league season. He's accumulated over 1,200 innings, and like that's a big deal. I think that's a bigger loss than people are giving it credit for.
Yeah, I think so. Hey, though,
and he's not out for the season, but like hopefully he comes back soon.
Sure. I mean, we always talk about it, right? And especially a team like the Rangers, if they're going to do anything this season and go deep into a season in the playoffs, they need to have pitching depth, and that needs to be a healthy pitching depth. I mean, this goes back to what we've been talking about. If the Kumar Rocker Jack Leiter show gets started here, then we're talking about a fundamentally different season for this team.
Absolutely. This actually brings up a thought that I had. One more thought about the Tokyo series. This fucking Dodgers bullpen is insane. Like, insane. Because they used 9 relievers in 2 games. And, like, think about all the guys that could be closers for 29 other teams on that roster. And we got guys like Kirby Yates. You got Tanner Scott. You got Alex Vesia. You've got, I don't know, fill in the blank with every other reliever they have on their roster. They are stacked to the gills with relief talent. And, like, talk about the thing that's going to fail later on in the season if you don't have a lot of it at the beginning, and they just have all of it, like every single bit of it. People are even talking about Shohei maybe being a bullpen piece. I don't really see that. You'll probably see him out of the bullpen a little bit, and this is just because he is a big league hitter putting up big league numbers, and you can't send him down to the minors to pitch and then same day have him come hit for the big league club. So I think he will quote unquote rehab in bullpen stints, but like Shohei is a bullpen option.
I mean, could be. I mean, your point is valid in that I don't think I've ever seen a team in recent memory that I can recall that has had this much depth in a bullpen. I mean, so you asked about closers. All right, so right off the bat, you have 3 closers. Tanner Scott, Kirby Yates, Blake Trinan. Not to mention, there's a ton of pitchers on the injured list. You have starters because they have a trillion starters that could be bullpen guys. Your River Ryan, Emmett Sheehan, Gavin Stones of the world. A guy called Kyle Hurt is on the
Gavin
IL.
Stone's
That's
fucking
hilarious.
nasty. Like Gavin Stone's a guy on any other team.
Give me a guy like him that can come in the 4th inning of a game gone haywire and give you 4 innings. Like, that's incredible.
Oh yeah, your starter exploded and gave up 4 or 5 runs in the first 2 innings. Okay, you have the best lineup in baseball and an entire starting rotation that you can throw out there to really just lock the game down and give you a chance to win.
Right, and that's not even including your Gatterols, Micah Groves, Michael Kopech, Evan Phillips. All those guys are hurt. Parker, dude, I mean, if you could fill 2 bullpens with these guys.
Yes, and like people, I think that because they've always had such a good bullpen, again, if Brusdar Graterol was a bullpen arm on your favorite team, you'd be like, please put him in. I want this game to be lights out from here on out. Like Brusdar Graterol is one of the most slept on relievers in baseball. It's insane what they've got going on out there.
I don't know, man.
It's always the Dodgers show when we talk.
It always the Dodgers show. Like, at what point do we change the goddamn name of the show? Because I mean, that's what we're doing here. Why am I wearing this hat? Let's just get rid of it. throw on the Dodger blue. Well, I'll tell you what. We're getting really close to opening day here.
Yes.
I have to share this with you because I think you'll find this interesting, and I want you to kind of help me come to this decision. This is the Anthony therapy session right now.
Okay.
So next Thursday is opening day. For those of you who don't know, I have season tickets. I go to every opening day for the White Sox. Next Thursday is going to be a high of 44 freaking degrees. For the first time ever, Parker, I'm second guessing. Go.
What? Sean Burke's not doing it for you?
First off, he's the only reason I would go. I fucking love Sean Burke. Don't talk about my guy like that. Number two, if the temperature is lower than Sean Burke's jersey number, then yeah, I'm second guessing it.
That's fair. That's really fair.
Come on.
I mean, here, let me throw it out there for you. How about this? Not to be morbid, but the odds of you guys winning opening day against the Angels are much higher than they would be against any other team, a lot of other teams at least.
That is true. And the Angels are going to be playing in an environment that they certainly are not used to in the ice cold of Chicago. So I'm deciding if I'm going to go. It's going to require me toughing it out. It's going to require me bundling up like it's the winter, literally. I haven't made the decision yet, but that's where I'm at. I have, when it comes to baseball, I think we're both like this. We have major FOMO, like more than with any other thing. So you know that's probably going to win out, and I'm going to just grin and bear it. Dude,
I sat in like a 40-degree Marathon Monday game in April in like 2022. I think it was 20. No, it wasn't 2022. Yeah, it's 2022. 2022 Marathon Monday. I went to the game. It was freezing. It was like 40 degrees out, and I was sitting in the shade, and I couldn't have been happier. It was the coolest fucking thing ever.
Did I ever tell you the story of when I went to the really cold, rainy game at Wrigley Field?
No.
All right, you're gonna love this one. This one is hilarious. So, Buddy and I went to Wrigley Field, Cubs versus Sox. Okay, so we went to Wrigley. That game, for some reason, it was like the middle of May too. It was so like raining, and not like rain like, hey, we're gonna commit to rain. It was like spritz rain. It was really shitty rain. And it was like 40 degrees. So it ended up being like super cold, windy, and rainy. So unpleasant. I don't believe we even sat there for as long as we did. Yeah. So we got up, we went to get food. All right, this is the funny part. We'll go up and we get food, and we got to warm up. We got to put something in our system. They, at Wrigley and every other cold ballpark, like in Chicago, they give you hot chocolate. They have hot chocolate you can purchase. Okay. So my dumb ass was like, yeah, hot chocolate sounds great. Let's go get some hot chocolate. I go up to the vendor, and my ass says, can I get some chocolate milk, please? And asked the vendor.
They're probably like,
chocolate.
What the fuck?
And this guy's like, get your kindergarten ass out of here. I legit walked up to this guy who's probably working there for 15 years at a baseball game and asked this dude for for chocolate milk. I'm like, what is going on here?
What is this? And what is it, Inspector Gadget? Or he's like, milk, chocolate milk, make it a double. I don't know. Something in my head makes me think that's Inspector Gadget. That's hilarious.
I was just, I was so embarrassed. There's people behind me in line, and I'm over here asking for chocolate milk like a tool.
Dude, God. So talking about cold, rainy games, I told you this story in person in Arizona, but I don't think I talked about it on the podcast yet. It's funny because it's applicable to this, and it's also applicable to the Alex Verdugo conversation we just had a little bit ago. But anybody who's listening that remembers the Alex Verdugo game where he was hit in the back by a fan who threw a ball back from the stands into the outfield. He got hit by that ball, like in the upper back neck area. And like, that's dangerous. That sucks. Let's not do that as baseball fans. I am forever entwined with Alex Verdugo, because I had a really fun time at that game. All right. It was pouring rain. It was freezing. But the trip that I went on to get to that game was like a party bus trip that I bought into. So like we got in a bus, there was a cooler full of beer, we're drinking, we're having a good time. Before the game, we got put in the Frank's Red Hot section of Yankee Stadium, and we got free drinks for like the 2 hours prior to first pitch. Like,
damn.
I'm not talking about a couple free drinks tickets. No. All you can drink free drinks for the first 2 hours before first pitch. So like I was a little fucking toasty come first pitch. The game only lasted 5 hours, or excuse me, the game only lasted 5 innings because it eventually did get rained out. So I'm like, have you ever done the thing at the ballpark where you're like, you leave your seats and you just kind of walk around the whole ballpark and watch it from a bunch of different angles and different sections and stuff like that?
Yeah.
I love that. That's one of my favorite things to do. That's what I ended up doing at this game, mostly because the concourse wasn't getting rained on. So I'm up in the section above Verdugo when this happens, and security comes to remove the fan that threw the ball at Verdugo. And you can see this if you go to John Boy Media. He posted like the clip of the video on Twitter like years ago, whenever it happened. You can see, if you can't hear me, you can definitely see the security guard look up to the second deck as he's trying to find the fan, because I was pissed that my left fielder just got hit in the back of the head by a baseball. And as the security guard's trying to find the person who did it, this is Yankees Red Sox, guys. This is like heated, and I'm trash. So like it's even more heated in my head than it actually was in the moment. The kid who did it, the fan who did it, was not fessing up to doing it. And I knew who did it because I saw it. So the security guard's looking for the guy, and you can hear me and my brother-in-law screaming, "It's that guy right there. It's that fucking guy right there." And if you can't hear us in the video, and there are some videos you can hear us, if you can't hear us, you can see the security guard look up, point, and see. And then what happened was we like went, "Yeah, that's him," to the security guard, and he removed the fan from the stadium.
Jeez, don't do dumb shit, people. When you go to
don't
a ball
do that.
game,
like you can't throw baseballs back at players, man.
Come on, like use your head. You know, I don't. First off, when you had that guy that pulled that crap with Mookie in the Yankees last year, I believe it was with Mookie, and like he's banned for life from games. Like, you know what? I have no sympathy for that, for people like that.
I can't stand that shit. Like, we're all here. Like, I was listening, and this is like a stand-up comedy guy. I think I remember saying this, but like the number one thing that you have to have when you step out onto a performing stage, which is what baseball fields are, is trust for the spectators, because it is a contract, like a emotional contract that you have signed. I will not do anything to hurt you. And I am really exposed right now in front of 30, 40, 50, 60,000 fans right now. And I'm trusting that you guys will behave yourselves and not put me at risk. And when you throw shit at players, you violate that social contract and basically break down all the fundamental rules we have as a society and ruin one of the cooler things we have, which is professional sports. So, I wasn't a big fan of that whole situation.
Last thing I wanted to talk about today, Parker, let's wrap with this. I got a big kick out of this. You sent this to me a couple days ago, and I wanted to talk about it here. And matter of fact, I'm going to share it with the fine people. So I'm sorry for those listening audio that won't see this. Please follow us on YouTube so you can see what we're showing. I'm going to share my screen, and I want to show this graphic. Okay. Hopefully everyone can see it. Parker, would you like to be on the Marlins practice squad?
Well, okay. So there's a couple ways that we can look at this, and personally, I'm a fan. So the Marlins, for those of you who can't see the flyer that's currently on screen, they posted a flyer on social media that said, "Calling former collegiate and former professional baseball players. The Miami Marlins player development system is seeking practice squad participants in Jupiter, Florida from April 1st to September 15th, 2025. This role offers $150 per day and requires availability from 12 to 5 p.m. on approximately 10 to 15 home game days per month when the Jupiter Hammerheads are in town. This is a unique opportunity to gain exposure to professional players and coaches, enhance your understanding of high-level training tactics, and receive performance data on your practice sessions where applicable." And then it gives an email.
Now, Here's the deal, Parker. I think I was like you. I had two responses to this. My smart ass side of me said,
Yeah.
"Wow, like we're doing walk
This
ups
is where
now.
we're
This is
at.
what we're doing, Marlins.
Yeah.
Wow, Peter Bendix. This is what we're doing right now.
It's
we're like,
that meme where it's like anybody with a fucking jersey show up on Tuesday.
right. Like, okay, come to the treeouts. All right. So so that was where I initially went with this. I was like, great, we're gonna Rockford Peach this thing. But the second part of me said, you know what, Parker, you're right. Like, this is for those folks too that are not going to get exposure to folks in the sport really any other way, and it's kind of a cool opportunity for those folks and to get a little bit of pay too.
Even outside of the opportunity for the actual practice squad players, because we see stories of guys like Cam Boozer's on your White Sox, man. He was a shop teacher 2 years ago. And he initially had a career in professional baseball. He got hit by a car, fractured his back in like 3 different places, eventually went to go become a school shop teacher. It was like the rookie. He could throw like 90 miles an hour and people convinced him to try out. And he ended up on big league baseball. Like that type of stuff could happen. And outside of that, though, I mean, every single NFL team has a practice squad. And like the nature of the game is a little different in football. Like you need a practice squad so that your first team offense can practice while your first team defense practices against the separate strategies of the team that you're playing that week. So like, yes, it is a little different, but like, why not for baseball? It can't hurt you.
No, I know it can hurt you, and it's funny that you went to the NFL because that's where immediately my brain went to with this. And I think the NFL though is a little different because I think the practice squad, while they work with the NFL team directly, it's also replaces any minor league team, right? Like that's really what it is. So I wonder how this will look for baseball in 5 or 10 years when we know the minor leagues are contracting. There's not many teams anymore. They look like they're trying to do that even again into the future. Maybe this becomes more popular in the coming years.
Yeah, it even says that they need to be available when the Jupiter Hammerheads are in town. So it makes me think that they're not even going to do this with the big league club. They'll probably do it with like guys on rehab assignments because you do rehab assignments in AAA typically. So it's like, okay, guys on rehab assignments down in AAA or even just the whole AAA ball club, because those are the guys that are like in reality is your practice squad in MLB because they are the guys that get called up to fill in roster spots when you have injuries and stuff like that. So yeah, I mean, I think that there's a place for it. I mean, the Marlins certainly think there's a place for it.
Surely. I mean, I told you, right? I mean, I see a scenario at the trade deadline where Peter Bendix is calling Brian Cashman. Hey, Brian. Wait, sorry, hold on. Peter Bendix is 12. Let me do that again. Mr. Cashman, I will give you Sandy Alcantara, Jesus Sanchez, and 2 practice squad
players.
What do you think?
For a player to be named later. Fun fact, Marco Scutaro was a player. There was a documentary on Netflix called A Player to Be Named Later, and it was about minor league baseball. It was super fucking good. And Marco Scutaro was in the documentary before he was the shortstop for the Red Sox that won the World Series. And they didn't know how to pronounce his name. He was Marco Scutaro in that documentary.
Literally, player to get the name right later. Like,
yeah, it was cool. It was actually like a really cool, like Hard Knocks style documentary about like what it's like to be a minor league ball player making $12,000 a year, but just chasing the dream.
Oh, good stuff. Good stuff. Last word, Parker. Last word for tonight,
dude. What did we say? So, okay, we should probably tell everybody next week we're not recording, and it's like,
yes,
it's opening day. What are we doing next week? I will have.
Wait. False. You're a week off, I think.
I'm a week off.
We're doing it next week. Yes, we are doing it next week.
Okay, so we're recording next week. 2 weeks after that, we won't be recording.
Correct. I will be in Florida.
Right. Yeah, you're going to experience Disney with the family, which is awesome. I wish you all the best. Oh, dude, one more thing I forgot to bring up. Before we jump off. During the week when we don't record, I will absolutely have our spring training video that we filmed like 1 million hours of. I will have that edited and posted in lieu of an episode. I'm hoping for like a 10, 15, 20, maybe even 25-minute video out of that. So we should be okay as far as that goes, for something for you guys to consume in the off time. But the other thing I forgot to bring up, dude, I scored Savannah Bananas tickets.
Oh, that's right. You told me that when I was down in Arizona, when we were down in Arizona, and we didn't even bring it up on the show yet. Like,
I hadn't brought it up on the show yet. I know. Yeah. So for those of you who don't know, Savannah Bananas, if you don't know, you might be living under a rock, but allow me to enlighten you. The Savannah Bananas are the Harlem Globetrotters of baseball. They're spectacular. They're amazing. They just sold out the 61,000 capacity Raymond James NFL Stadium down in Tampa. And they're super fun. They travel, tour around the country, and it's almost impossible to get tickets. The way that you have to get tickets is you have to join a lottery where they pull names for the opportunity to buy tickets. And why would I want to do that when I can just buy them secondhand? Because tickets to Savannah Bananas games are pointedly like $50, $60, $70. Very affordable. It cost me $160 from me, my wife, and my 2 kids to all get our own seats in like the box level of Savannah Bananas game. Yeah, so man, if you're like out there trying to find Bananas tickets and you didn't know about this whole system and you think, oh my God, this is ridiculous. I thought they were supposed to be affordable. Tickets are $500 because that's what they are. If you didn't get tickets during the lottery for Anaheim, like they're like $500. Just go on their website, register. It took me 2 years to get tickets. So I'm super excited and I can't wait to bring my family.
I can't wait. I want all the pictures. I want to know what the kids thought. They're going to have a great time.
Yeah, I can't wait. Oh, my son also, one last thing. My son Theodore, for the first time, he took a step that I think all of us did as kids. He had his first T-ball practice of the year. He has his second year playing T-ball this year. And this morning he was writing his name and number on a T-ball with a pen. And when his mom asked him what he was doing, he said, Mom, I have to write my name and number on the ball and throw it to somebody because that's what the big baseball players do.
Man, don't you just love it? Like that folks is what it's all about. Oh man,
absolutely. I remember doing that, dude. I remember like
Heck
I would have
yeah.
baseballs. I'd like practice putting my autograph on baseballs and stuff like that. This kid's got what it takes. I'm just telling you, he's gonna be a big league arm.
Dude. All right, fast track to the majors. Here we go. Hey, do you want to go to the practice squad for the Marlins? I hear that.
Exactly. Yeah, the practice squad's hiring. I'll send him out there right now.
All right, guys. We'll catch you next week for Late Night Baseball. Take care.
Thanks.